7 o'clock news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. But first, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues a royal decree. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed receives His Excellency, the Iranian Minister of Industry, Mine and Trade. The Omani-Iranian Joint Committee signs a Memorandum of Understanding in the field of commerce, development and investment. And the State Council discusses new draft law of aquatic living resources and regulations of investments in sea culture field. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issued a Royal Decree number 19/2018 on considering the development project of Adara and Tibat villages in the Wilaya of Bukha in the Governorate of Musandam as a public utility. Article 1, the development project of Adara and Tibat villages in Wilaya of Bukha in the Governorate of Musandam, specified in the attached memorandum and comprehensive plan, shall be considered a public utility project. Article 2, competent authorities may directly seize properties and lands that are necessary for the said project in accordance with the Public Utility Expropriation Law. Article 3, this decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into effect from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Ismail Omar Guelleh of Djibouti on the occasion of his country's Independence Day anniversary. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, received His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Shariat Madari, Minister of Industry, Mining and Trade Chairman of the Iranian side of the Omani-Iranian Joint Committee. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. The 17th round of Omani-Iranian Joint Committee commenced its deliberations today at the Grand Hyatt Muscat. The Omani side was chaired in the two-day meetings by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry, while the Iranian side was headed by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Shariat Madari, Minister of Industry, Mining and Commerce. During the meetings, the two sides discussed developing relations of the bilateral cooperation between the two countries in the fields of trade, economy, investment, transport, communications, minerals, oil and gas, manpower, agriculture, and cooperation between the Governorate of Musandam and the Iranian province of Hormozgan. A memorandum of understanding between the Omani Exports Credit Guarantee Agency and the Iranian Export Guarantee Agency was signed during the meeting. Strengthening joint investments between the Sultanate and Iran topped discussions of the meeting between His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail al-Baluchi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs, and His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Shariat Madari, Minister of Industry, Mining and Trade of Iran. The meeting discussed means of consolidating economic ties between the two countries and uplift level of commercial cooperation, in addition to rendering facilities to investors in both countries. His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry, and His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Shariat Madari, Minister of Industry, Mining and Trade of Iran, met today with businessmen from both countries. The meeting dwelt on commercial relations between the two friendly countries and the importance of improving them. It also focused on the importance of rendering facilities and incentives to Omani and Iranian investors, especially in the fields of visas, air freight and sea shipment. enhancing mechanisms of the cooperation and commercial exchange in addition to exchanging viewpoints at various issues at regional and international levels topped the 8th round of political negotiations between the Sultanate and Lithuania, which was held today at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The negotiations reviewed bilateral relations and means of enhancing them in various fields in which serve the common interest between both countries. The negotiations was chaired from Omani's side by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, while it was chaired from the Lithuanian side by His Excellency Neris Germans, Deputy Foreign Minister of Lithuania. State Council discussed today the new draft law of aquatic living resources, which regulate for the first time investments in the field of sea culture and its researches in the Sultanate. The members of the State Council discussed around 66 articles related to draft law of aquatic resources and the role of aquaculture sector in supporting state general budget. The new law will discuss on a number of topics like the importance of depending on traditional methods of fishing, financial penalties on those violating fishing laws, and means of regulating commercial fishing. The session was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Omani Skills Competitions for the Colleges of Technology Students 2018 is launched. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. His Excellency Abdul Aziz bin Mohammed Al Rawas, advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs, received at his office Muayyad Al-Lami, president of Iraqi Journalists Syndicate, who is currently in Oman. His Excellency and the guests discussed current journalist and media issues at both the Arab and international arenas, and the role of media in covering events and its significance in conveying the truth. Omani Journalist Association held honoring ceremony for its affiliates participated in covering climate conditions for Mykonos cyclone. The association honored 33 journalists and media men from its members who performed actively in covering climate conditions. The honoring came as appreciation for media men for their efforts exerted in transferring original picture during Mykonos cyclone passed through governorates of Dhafar and Al-Wusta. The honoring ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Umar Al Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service. The Sultanate celebrated today the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, which falls on the 26th of June every year. The celebration was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al Harrasi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television. I was present at the event and I have this report. The Sultanate celebrates International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, organized by the Executive Office of the National Committee for Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances under the theme, Move On, Initiate, the Community Needs You. The theme of this year highlights the importance of having an essential role to play in tackling the drugs problem, especially in the fields of prevention, rehabilitation, studies and researches. In the world today, the most common addictions found are that of drugs and alcohol. Governments around the world have invested billions in the rehabilitation and control of the use of these substances, but the problem and addiction still affects many each year.
Drugs, as everybody is aware of, is a dark path leading either to death or imprisonment or disease. The ministry is coordinating the efforts to tackle the problem of drugs. We have a detoxification center in Muscat, in addition to a rehabilitation center. And there is another one in Rostaq, and there is an upcoming one in Suhar. This will tackle part of the issue, but the main responsibility is on the families, individuals and families, to make the young aware that drugs can lead to their death or imprisonment.
The celebration included the announcement of the results of the community competition of drugs and psychotropic substances control. The competition is a participatory work based on adopting and implementing community-based projects aimed at reducing the problem of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. A central team and sub-teams were formed to evaluate the projects according to the established criteria for this purpose.
Drugs and substance misuse is a major problem in communities, and in Wilayat Suwayq we try to provide the prevention and protection for the young to get rid of this problem.
It's a joint effort in Wilayat Bosher to identify families of people who misuse drugs, to educate them and help them to get rid of this problem. And the most important thing is to help them to provide a stable income for them.
Royal Oman Police efforts on combating drugs and psychotropic substances was highlighted in the ceremony, including awareness activities aimed at educating young people about the health and social effects of drug abuse. During the celebration, the first version of the manual for preparation of awareness programs in the field of drugs and psychotropic substances was launched. His Excellency Ahmed bin Abdullah al-Shehi, Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources, paid an inspection visit to the water springs affected by the climate conditions in the Governorate of Dhofar to get acquainted with their maintenance works as the Kharif season starts. There are more than 360 water springs in the Governorate, and the water quantity increased in most of them due to the recent weather conditions. Some damage was caused to the water springs due to the wadi's overflow. The maintenance works in Ain al-Jarziz are completed as the water flow is back to normal, while the progress continues in other areas. His Excellency Sayyid Saeed bin Ibrahim al-Busaidi, Deputy Muscat Governor, received at his office Rear Admiral Simone Malvagna, Commander of the Italian Navy Task Force. Both parties discussed matters of mutual concerns to bolster the existing relationships between the Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of Italy. The Minister of Manpower, represented by the Directorate General of Technical Education, launched yesterday at Oman Conventions and Exhibition Center the three-day Omani Skills Competitions for the Colleges of Technology Students 2018. The event was presided over by His Excellency Talal bin Sulaiman al-Rahbi, Deputy Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning. Our reporter, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, was there, and he has this report.
Omani Skills Competition for the Colleges of Technology Students 2018 came to shed light on increasing the professional level of students at the different industrial sectors and developing their performance to compete internationally.
You could look at the importance in different levels there. You could look at the personal level. The student, they gain a lot of experience, knowledge, and skills also. In terms of the preparation also, we prepare them properly. We put them in a simulated environment, which is the same environment as they will find it an international competition. Yeah. In terms of the economy, I think the student will learn the advanced technology. They will be prepared to work. They'll be flexible. They will be able to work in a lot of pressure. Pressure in terms of time, pressure in terms of people wanting the products to finish. All these things they learn. Yeah.
The competition includes 10 skills: fashion technology, graphic design technology, IT networks administration, website design and development, information network cabling, IT software solutions for business, electronics, CNC turning, mechanical engineering CAD, and mobile robotics.
This competition gave me the opportunity to learn a new skills, which is in network administrator, which gonna help me in future to build my career, and also we learn a new experience from my mate, which they are in my group.
One skills competition give me chance to learn and prepare and learn new skills, and give me confidence with myself, and I consider to create a career in future.
It is worth mentioning that this contest promotes the importance of technical education and vocational training for the individuals to contribute towards the development and progress of societies and economies. Out of the 137 students participating here today, 10 students will represent the Sultanate in the World Skills Competition to be held in Russia next year. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
United Nations official launched the Lion's Share Fund for wildlife protection that aims to gather donations from advertising companies. More details again here in this report.
Various public figures and United Nations officials launched on Thursday a new fund for wildlife protection that aims to gather donations from advertising companies.
Few people realize that 1,000 times faster than the natural extinction rate is now the rate of loss of species. We have tens of thousands of threatened species. We are destroying habitats. We need to start investing in nature's capacity to both survive but also to sustain us.
Announced at this year's Cannes Lions Festival, the Lion's Share Fund encourages marketing companies that feature animals in their ads to donate 0.5% of their media expenses towards the initiative aimed at protecting endangered species. The fund's special administrator, David Attenborough, said animals, many of them endangered, are featured in 20% of all advertisements exposed to the public.
The Lion's Share encourages brands and organisations using images of animals in their marketing to donate 0.5% of their media spend to the Lion's Share Trust.
The project was co-founded by advertising company Mars Incorporated and is backed by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP.
As one of the world's largest advertisers in the world, we're calling on all other advertisers to join forces. We're much stronger together in this, and together we know as advertisers and marketeers we can reach millions and billions of consumers and genuinely make a difference in the world.
Fund administrators aim to raise $100 million annually in the next 3 years. They said if the world's 10 largest advertisers were to contribute, they could gather $47 million in annual donations.
And now here, let's have a look at the general weather focus around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of dust-raising wind over the governorates of Al-Dhahira, Al-Buraymi, Al-Wusta and Al-Dakhiliya. Winds will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. More details on your screen. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues a royal decree. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed receives His Excellency, the Iranian Minister of Industry, Mine and Trade. The Omani-Iranian Joint Committee signs a memorandum of understanding in the field of commerce development and investment. The State Council discusses new draft law of aquatic resources and regulations of investments in sea culture field. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we do thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.